want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. All right. So for the individuals out there that like to get mad at me anytime I highlight or do these videos, stop getting mad at me and get mad at the people that are specifically using their own image, which is going to be used to generalize and put all this stuff on social media to generally make a lot of y'all look bad. Hey, get mad at them, look them up, tell them to stop, and I won't be able to, obviously do these videos. I'll be focused on clearly something else. But I have to highlight this because not only are you going to have, right, grown women doing this, you're also going to have younger women looking at their videos thinking that it's okay to do things like this. All right, so amongst the videos that I've basically showcased and given to you guys before, there were a lot of challenges that took place, one of which I covered, which was the massa challenge, where you saw fields of black women deciding to take part in this with their Caucasian counterpart and decide to do that whole thing, even to the extent where you had black women who are playing for the exact same team deciding to actually take part in this. Completely baffling. But now you have a new thing on social media, which is, really been, I guess, gaining, right, some legs, where you will have melanated women. And I'm going to say melanated just to cover everybody because some people will be like, well, is this person FBA? Is this person this? Is this person that? Is this person this person? All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, people around the world are not going to try to differentiate who this is. If it looks like a black woman, if it seems to be a black woman, if it dances like a black woman, if it dresses like a black woman, they're going to associate it and put it directly on a black woman. That's all I want to tell people. But for those in the back, this is a melanated woman directly in the United Kingdom, from everything that I can understand and see directly from her social media profile. But again, I don't want people to deflect and miss the point that I have covered Black American women who have taken part and said these exact same things. I have literally made and posted videos showcasing what it is that I'm talking about. So, but again, she decided to state that to Black people, she's a seven, but to the Caucasian, colonizer owner that she is with, she is a 10. And this is when you saw her deciding that, oh, I'm happy and giddy. Let me dance, 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 right? And she ended up getting, some flack, directly for that, but really not a lot, right? Some people were just down there laughing. And there's a certain segment, that was down there laughing and encouraging and completely finding this directly fine. So for some of the backlash that she got directly for this video, this is what she stated. And this is her response. Me, why did you eat the last chocolate? Ben, sorry, I didn't know you wanted it. Me, typical colonizers just taking whatever you want. This is how Ben and I talk because we find left wing racial politics humorous, but not in a funny ha way, but funny sad. It's crazy that people really be looking down at white people because their 10 times grandfather did the thing that everyone was doing at the time. Likewise, it's so polarizing when you go the opposite direction and say black people can never be the butt of a joke regarding whites in racial jokes. Like, huh? I see him equal, not more than me, not less than me. Therefore, jokes can go both ways and, of course, inappropriate context. Like some of y'all really hurting from this. And it's not because you have generational trauma. It's because you take yourselves and others too seriously. Stop being so pessimistic, and you might actually start enjoying life. hashtag interracial couples, hashtag interracial marriages, hashtag Christian TikTok, hashtag racial politics, hashtag marriage humor. All right. Just for other people to for black people in general to understand, just in case you are in an interracial relationship, at no point in time does your opinion on if your significant other is equal or not does it even count. The reason why they are deemed or seen as equal to other people is because their own people own that country, own that land, make the laws, the rules, and the regulations, and deemed it at a point in time that they are higher than you and you are less than them. So I'm not sure where it is that or what horse that she is riding on, where she is like, I, as a melanated woman, I automatically see him as an equal. Your opinion on what his status is does not matter. It doesn't matter. His status, just with his ethnicity, raises you up. It raises you up. Your status does not raise him up in the world. It doesn't. It doesn't do anything for him at all. So I need people to start to get that through their brains, through their minds. That you don't have, if you have melanin in your skin, you have no say so on how it is that that person is deemed equal or not. It does not matter. This is what we have, laws and regulations for. This is what we have history to showcase this. Like I said, a lot of people are just lost. And then you have the whole other thing that she tried to do, which is wipe away all the things that, people have heard, meaning, the stories that have been. She said it's not because you have generational trauma. It's due to the fact that you just take yourselves too serious. So you mean to tell me that if you have people out here where their grandparents are still around, right? Because let's take example for the United States. In certain places, slavery didn't end up until, word wise, slavery didn't end up until like the 1960s or whatnot, or maybe even the 70s, right? And you have grandparents that are still around that have told a variety of stories to their grandkids, right? And then those grandparents that are still around, they have the stories from their parents. So you're going to tell me that having a living library, having living history walk around means that no, just ignore that because that has nothing to do with you, because that might be their experience, but that's not your experience. Focus on only your experience and don't focus and try to take on anybody else's experience as your own. That's not for you to do. What have you specifically gone through? What have you specifically seen? What have you specifically dealt with? And these are, mind you, these will be the exact same people to say that, oh, you've never, actually gone through racism. You don't even know, what racism is. And then when you list to them the variety of things that have taken place, they'll turn around and be like, oh, okay, so you've gone through that. Well, I have some Caucasian friends that have, gone through the exact same similar things. So does that mean that they face racism too? Or does that mean that they just face things out here that everyday humans just so happen to face? That's how they'll try to break that down and try to say that racism doesn't exist. Right. So, like I said, this is what it looks like when you have individuals who feel like they are above and removed from what it is that others have experienced, and the stories and the history that has been passed down. Because it's pretty interesting that when it comes down to, let's say, example wise, black Americans, if we have positive stories that, we know of in our family, our friends, surroundings, or whatnot, whatever, people will say, oh, that's great, but that's not your experience. So focus on your own positive things. What positive things are you doing? Yada, yada, yada. Right? Don't uplift and show forth somebody else's positive works in history, right? When it deals with negative experiences that they've had in life and you're told those things, Don't focus on those things. That's not your experience. Yada yada yada. Move on from that. Focus on what it is that you've gone through. Have you specifically gone through that? Is that your personal experience? Do you have stories like that? And then it'll go down to them talking about the history and the things that their people went through, right? They'll sit up there and state that they are so proud of their people, how it is that they fought, how it is that they did this, and how it is that they did that. Look at all the things that they built, and all of these things, right? Now, notice how other people can encompass the whole group. They can keep that whole history, all of those things that they specifically did not take part in and do, but they can prop those up and talk about them, right? But when it comes to Black Americans, the world tells us no, you can't. No, 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 don't bring up the positive history of Black people did. That's not what we're talking about. That's the past. Don't bring up the negative things that Black people have gone through because that's the past. Let's talk about right now. Notice how people separate, try to do everything to separate everything from Black Americans, but everybody else can share and relive no matter what story it is. It can be good, bad, or the ugly. They can relive all of those stories, all of that history. Talk about that. Spread that knowledge around. Nobody has an issue. When it comes to Black people in America, the whole world tells Black people to shut up. Like I said, and nobody sees this. This is literally what she stated in the last portion of her response. She just basically told Black people to shut up. You take yourselves too serious. This wasn't basically you. You didn't have these experiences. This is just, marriage humor that me and, my Caucasian husband sit up there and have because we just find it ha ha funny sad. Not ha 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 funny. Like I said, you can't make this up. The main thing I keep telling people is like, yo, if you are in these relationships, just shut up about Black people. I don't know how many times I've had to basically state this on this platform. Just shut up about Black people. If you want to do certain things in your relationship that you find humorous, fine, so be it. Don't put it online. Don't put it online because you're going to end up getting a whole bunch of backlash. You're going to end up getting stuff and people saying stuff that you're not going to like. So, like I said, keep all of that stuff to yourself behind closed doors. Everything that you do ain't meant for the whole world to sit up there and see and know about. Everybody ain't going to find that funny. Like I said, for a lot of y'all out here that be in these relationships where you think you're so far removed and all this other type of stuff, yo, just shut up. Just stop speaking on Black people in general. Just do it. How difficult is it for you to do that? We're not focused on you. You don't see us out here calling you out by name, by name, by place, by job. We don't even know that you exist up until you let us know. Up until you let us know by doing videos like this on social media. But, like I said, it is what it is.